thing about menopause before, during, after, and I would say after and after and after, because we can't have a before, after, right? So my thing is, we have to look, we have to consider um the craves, the anxious, all the anxiety for wanting to eat, which we would name attractive foods, the taste buds, the scents. We have to pay particular attention to that because we could be fooled very easily. And you know, there's an old saying. I remember my great grandmother used to say this. Um, the more ugly a thing may smell, is the better it is for your body. It's not necessarily those words, but it's in light of those same words. And it is true because we don't like anything slightly bitter. We don't like anything more on the alkaline side. We don't like that. We want to get it, you know, spicy, and we want to have it um, with so much salt. And when it is sweet, it must be very sweet and very cold, and these things. And we must eat the more popular foods. So the food in the red box with the chicken on it, you know, and these things. So we have now, when you are younger, we have to remember that our bodies could consume this and probably, and I'm saying this in quote, get rid of it. And as far as I know, based on people's testimonies and so on, you could never get rid of everything that you ever consume, even from the age of 1 minute old. Whatever you consume, some will be out and some will be in. So if we, as women and men by extension, if we reach this age and we decide to eat any and everything, be my guest, we cannot expect longevity. Longevity is long, healthy life. If we want to enjoy life, we got to get with it and do what is right as far as consuming is concerned. We can wear any clothes. We can probably almost go anywhere, right? To our likeness. But we cannot eat any and everything and expect longevity. We cannot consume any and any kind of, let's say, tablets and expect, or capsules, or herbs, or anything like that, and expect longevity. We must be choiceful or choosy in what we are consuming. It's there for everybody to use. But what is going to happen? Some people, they cannot say no thanks. They want to taste a little bit of everything. I've seen something here. Went to a restaurant and there was about, I don't want to exaggerate, about 50 different dishes. It could be more because they had back and front, and I could not have seen the end of the whole layout of food. And I sat down there and I look at some people, they want to taste everything. And they ate until their stomachs were upset and they still had remainders in their plates. That is not nice. People need to be very, um, very wary about what they consuming. I am out here now and I cannot get anything organic, but I try to use the vegetables and fruits as much as I could. I try. Right, so that's my little contribution. If anybody wants to say anything, we could, if Dr. Khan and nurse permit us, we can have a little debate on that. I love to debate. I just like it. And thanks again for the time, Dr. Khan and Nurse Maria. Thanks again for the time to allow this. I am out here and I'm seeing it. People are not healthy. They are not healthy.
So, all right. So thank you for that introduction, Liz. That was awesome.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so let's start off with welcome back to the Healthy Reset, where we talk about menopause and the journey of menopause, and hopefully provide good quality advice for navigating the symptoms and the changes of menopause, and by extension, the changes of midlife with women of women and gentlemen who are in their lives or their partners through that midlife change that we must all go through at some point in time, provided we don't expire. And tonight we were supposed to having a speaker come on where we were talking where Nikita Sharma, where she was going to talk about nutrition, exercise, and creating that holistic lifestyle. And one of our community ladies who are in our community brought up an awesome topic while we're waiting on Nikita to come on our eating habits and how much we eat, how much we're consuming, what we're consuming. And I love that she started with that because that is the topic of tonight is healthier lifestyle, healthier eating. And if you stay to the end, I have a special announcement to make for everyone who's on here. So if you stay to the end, you will get that awesome announcement. But in the meantime, Liz has opened the floor into a discussion on food, taste, quality of food, type of food, and all of that stuff. And I would like to open the floor to make this an interesting part of it because we haven't done this yet, is having an open discussion about nutrition as a whole. So Liz, I'm gonna ask you, where are you located, first off? Where are you seeing this unusual or this behavior? It's not even unusual anymore.
Where am I seeing it?
Yes, where are you in the world that you're seeing this behavior?
Oh, I was in Manhattan.
So what I want to say to that is there's been, I mean, most of this is anecdotal, but there's been a lot of people who have
Dr. Khan,
commented. Yes,
excuse me.
sure.
I have to move away.
Okay, no worries.
So
But
I'll be
while
back
you're
shortly.
away, so I'm going to open the floor a little bit, but there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of people who have traveled from places like the US to places like Europe and have commented on the difference in nutrition between what they have in the US and what they have in places like Europe, Asia, and these Far East countries. And we live in the Caribbean, so we are directly influenced by the American culture and food styles. And we are seeing a rise in obesity in Trinidad and Tobago and a lot of the other Caribbean islands. And it is really based on that fast food culture, that quick, easy meal, right? And I would like to let's talk about that. So, what are your thoughts on food in the Caribbean?
Hi, good night.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, good night.
Good night. Good night.
Oh, we have more than one speaker. For me, I have been, because of the menopause, my take on it is quite different. It's opposite. So it's not so much of the putting on of the weight, but more of losing of the body mass. And it's greatly due to, I guess, for me, the change in my eating habits. So I no longer, even up to yesterday, I tried eating meat and I felt upset just trying to eat the meat, because I've weaned myself off of it, not fully, but it's not an everyday thing for me. So when I try to eat meat, it's, so food for me is basically what we have been doing, a lot of greens, a lot of, those things that kind of help me, I don't know, oxygenate my body or whatever it is. And but in between, we slip. So I started going back. I love snacks. And snacks is something that I have given up. So I don't eat as much snacks as I used to. But sometimes we slip back into it, and all this is due to menopause. My body has just been changing. My sense of smell, my sense of taste, has been changing. So things that I used to enjoy, I no longer really enjoy, and so food for me is not enjoyable. And my husband said to me yesterday, which was really funny because I started eating back snacks and stuff. But this week I was just feeling snackish. And he said to me, he said, you should go back to eating how you used to eat because, you know, because I had a little more weight and everything like that. So for me, food, I listen to people talk about menopause and gaining weight and all these things. And for me, it's the opposite. And you hear people, for me, I hear people talking about ways to lose weight and ways to do this. But for me, it's quite different. So food is not as enjoyable as it used to be for me. That's my take on it.
So Maria, what is
Yeah.
your take on what Sharon has commented on?
For me, in my experience with food, I had stopped consuming, generally meat at the age of 11, right? And when I was having my daughter 14 years ago, the strange thing is that I had very strong urge, when pregnancy, you get a very, very strong urge for things that you're not usually eating. And I had strong urges for meat. And my husband was asking me, you're crazy, you don't eat meat? I wanted to eat things that was really out, what I really usually don't eat. And when I tried eating it, my body just rejected it. Within a few seconds that it hit in my throat. And it has become the same way now, since I've made this lifestyle change. If I go back eating the way that I used to eat before, like what Sharon was saying, she had snacks and sugary stuff, my body feels extremely upset and I get bloated. That is my experience with food now. And in terms of food, I really don't have I try a lot of different things now because I realize my taste buds has also had changed a lot. I eat more fruits now. I have a lot of grains, and to me, it tastes down better than just eating rice. And we in the Caribbean, we eat provision and stuff. So I would agree with you that my taste buds has changed. And but however, I have a different relationship with food now. I see food as a healer according to what you eat. So I eat a lot of as I said, grains, fruits. I have salads in between now and again. I would eat a little snack, and there are days that I fast. So what the fasting does for me, it helps me to put me back on track. I find that has worked for me. I mean, everybody would have a different method of getting back on track. But you see, fasting, it gets me back on track to where I'm supposed to be. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm still working at it. There are days when I'm going full barrel, and there are days when I really don't have the willpower. Sometimes I fall back, but the main thing that I believe we have to do is just to stick with it. Stick with it, do the best we could do. I mean, and that is all we can do. We stick with it. Sometimes you fall off the bandwagon, but get back on. And that's my take on that.
So what I'd like to add to that is a technique that the Japanese use, and it's one that I actually teach in the Ultimate Weight Loss Formula. right, is eating until 80% full. I think a lot of people misunderstand that dieting is not about starving yourself or eating less than what you actually need. And it's a disservice. And it was interesting. There's this study, and they call on a show called on Netflix called The Blue Zones. And a few of the ladies who they were doing the study on, the twins, one of them was actually felt she was on a vegetarian diet and she felt that she needed to eat less because she was eating too much vegetables. And in my course, with the Ultimate Weight Loss formula, and I constantly repeat to everybody in the program, eat until you're 80% full. And the reason I'm saying that is this lady she actually had loss in muscle mass at the end of the study because her body was burning her proteins from her muscle to get back that energy that she wasn't taking enough of. So that's one of the things to consider. If you're noticing you're losing weight, then look at, it's not, yes, the quality food, type of food, there's a lot more aspects to that has to go into it. But are you eating enough, right? Are you feeling full or 80% full or close to full before you stop eating? And if you're not, then you're actually doing a negative impact on your body where you're causing your body to find energies from other sources. And at first, when the body starts to look for other sources of energy, it doesn't look for fat first. And a lot of people don't recognize that. Bodies do not burn fat as a first source of energy. Fat is really hard to burn. What was the easiest thing to burn is carbohydrates. That's your glycogen store, which only lasts for a few minutes, right? And then afterwards, it goes to burning proteins. And then and after that, then it goes to burning fats. So a lot of times, if you're not eating enough, you are doing a disservice because then you're losing muscle. And that makes you feel that doesn't serve your body that well, right? So that's the first thing I would say about, Sharon, are you eating enough? Um, sorry, my microphone just went off for some reason. Yes, it's back on. So that's the first bit of consideration to put into there is, am I eating enough or should I add more to it? And you said you like snacking, Sharon. Snack. I mean, if it fits into what you need to do, then snack, right? But one of the things I always say, you have to have a good nutrition plan in order to achieve your goals. And if you don't have a good plan in place, then then you're just picking stuff out of different areas and it's not gonna really serve you that well because you don't have a system in place that helps you to achieve your desired health. And not just about weight loss, but your desired health, right? Anybody else have anything? Liz, I saw you turning off, you're unmuting yourself a little bit. Anything to add to
Sorry.
this?
Sorry about just now. I have to run and just return again. Right. Something was in the mind. What was in the mind? What was in the mind is that I want all ladies tell your friends about this program. Try to invite a friend or friends. When you are approaching the age of menopause, it's a deciding factor on your body. If we continue to do as we used to do before, which was not, let's say, the proper rhythm for ourselves, we are going to find ourselves in a lot of trouble as we pass through menopause and post-menopause. I am a living testimony to that. I didn't had Dr. Khan and Nurse Maria to a lesser extent to really drive the point home. Now I have them. Nurse Maria used to speak to me before about health and taking care of your body Taking care of your body, dressing is the last thing on the agenda. I wouldn't even say the hairstyles, because the hairstyles must come with how the body reacts. Please, ladies, take good care of yourselves, especially when approaching menopause, during menopause, and it will determine what will take place after menopause, which is post-menopause. I don't have much regrets because I always think about what will happen in the next, years to come. I was one of them who used to cheat too, eh? So one minute I would say, okay, this is time to get myself in. And next thing you know, I smell the food or I look at the food and the taste buds just go crazy. And here I am the following morning, tummy gone down flat and nice. And I am looking at myself and saying, wow, nothing in reason, man. I could go back behind it again. Until one day I didn't even decide. I didn't even know when the tummy raised up. And to get back down the tummy, it's a problem. And when the tummy has risen, it's all over. You will get with some fluff. So, and it's very difficult. It's really unhealthy. It puts pressure on the eyes. It puts pressure on the brain. It puts pressure on your digestion, on your blood flow. That's your circulatory system. It puts pressure on your your whole body. Even the clothes that you like to wear, you can't wear them no more. And you look at yourself in a mirror the day and you say, this is how I look, together with how I feel. It doesn't worth it. So people, I am 63 now. And I can say to all of you, it doesn't worth it. Just take care of yourself. Nurse Maria said something earlier on. I think it was during her pregnancy. She can lead me right if I'm wrong. She tried to eat certain foods after avoiding them, and the stomach couldn't take it, something with that effect. When you keep away from foods for a long time, your stomach will reject it if you decide to go back behind it. Because size is one thing. It will break down in size, the stomach walls, and then the acids, it's like something that is foreign that you're taking inside. So you won't be able to digest it properly. So that's a red flag. So it will tell you, I stop eating spicy foods. And I decided, after 6 months to go back behind it. Yes, the stomach wouldn't be able to take that. So you wouldn't have proper digestion and you're going to feel sick. So ladies, please make up your mind. When you stop something, make sure you stop it for good. Don't try to go back behind it because you would feel all messed up. Yeah. Again, that's my contribution.
Thank you, Liz. So, I mean, I'd like to add a little bit to that. It's an interesting story that happened this week with me and one of the ladies who's been doing in the hospital I work with the same weight loss recipe. And she came into the office and she says, I'm not losing weight. And I go, what do you mean? And she goes, I get on the scale and I'm 200 pounds today, and tomorrow I'm 204. And if I weigh myself 4 times a day, it keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. And the first thing I told her was like, first off, throw away a scale. Just hide it for while you're part of the program, just don't use it. And then she said another thing afterwards I found really interesting. She's like, oh yeah. I was like, well, your clothes looks a lot looser. And I made that observation, and she's like, yeah, this top, I haven't worn it in 3 years. And I put it on for the first time today. I couldn't fit into it before. And I was just like, it blew my mind because here she is talking about not losing weight and fitting into a top that she couldn't even fit into 3 years before. And even her daughter commented and said, oh, I haven't seen you in that top in a while. And here's one of the things I said. So I was like, when do you last put it on? How did it fit? She's like, oh, all the arms were tight. I could barely get into it. And she's wearing the top, and there's a space between the arm and her and the sleeve of the top. And it was just like, we get so caught up in the scale that we don't recognize the successes we have in our journey to achieving a healthier lifestyle. And here she has a massive success after 4 weeks in the course, and didn't notice it until she showed up that day, and it was pointed out to her that, wow, look at that. You're wearing a set of clothes that you weren't able to wear in quite some time. So, as Liz was saying, when you start shifting your nutrition, you realize your body starts to shift with it. And things that you were eating before, especially highly processed foods and ultra processed foods, you lose the ability to stomach it, as Liz said. And it's an interesting view. And I will say that, weight is not the best parameter of how you're progressing, because weight takes a long time. But there's other really good parameters you could use, like heart rate and how your clothes is fitting, how you're feeling, to really gauge how well you're doing. And if you're mapping your progress, you see a big difference. So great stuff unpacking tonight. So I want to open the floor. Anybody else has any pressing concerns that have been sitting on their head for a while? They want to clarify something. Especially when it comes to nutrition. Is there anything you want to know? There's something that's just been confusing you, that is the social media or whatever has been, you just don't know how to make heads from tails from what the information is. Anybody want to toss something out there for us?
I want to find out. Good night, Dr. Khan.
Hello, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
Yes. My greatest problem is sticking to it. How do I stick to it? I am a person, I was self-summoned for about just about majority of the, maybe 4 weeks or a month, and I am tired. Stick to itiveness, I would want it. I want to get clarification on that.
Well, first step is developing a good system, right? And once you have a good system, you can create consistency in your routines. And yeah, it's anything you're doing, it's hard to stick to it. I mean, think about it. Any job, hobby, if you're not fully invested in it for a while, it's a little hard to stay on board and stay with it. So how do you stick to it? For like a system like what Ultimate Weight Loss Recipe does is a great idea for you to join and come and see how you can build a system that works for you. It's also using other people's systems, right, might not be the best fit for you. So what I mean, a great coach doesn't tell you use my system. Just do what I say here. Just follow these steps. A great coach says, here is a system I use. Here I've tested it. Adjust it to match what you are capable of. Right? So not use what I do, but look at what I did because it's been tested, it works, and see how you can adjust it to match your lifestyle. And once you develop your own system, right? Because honestly, I have done all the mistakes, the pitfalls, everything in my program. So I know the mistakes you can make from the clients I have and from my own personal experience. So I can help you avoid those mistakes, but set up a system that works for you. Build your roadmap, right? And everybody is different. So that's the first thing. How do you stick to it? Getting a good system in place, right? Then the rest of it is groups like these, having that encouragement and accountability to others. Ever try to motivate yourself to do things?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough to motivate ourselves because we're our worst enemies a lot of times. So how do we get ourselves motivated? If we have other people who are running with us and we're all achieving and moving in the same direction, you realize you want to work harder because you want to please that person. And really, it's not you pleasing that person, it's that you have this accountability that makes you strive to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I say it's not the ultimate weight loss recipe is really about creating that sustainable system in yourself. Maria, you want to jump in here and give your, as we say to the Caribbean, 2 cents?
Yes, I would like to say something here. To Cynthia, what I would like to tell you that you must have a purpose. What is your purpose for getting healthy? Is it because you just want to look good in clothes? Is it because you want to feel healthy? You want to trim down? You want, general feeling of well-being? What I'm trying to get at, you must have a purpose. It's like somebody who is healing. I want you to look at weight loss as somebody who, like we just think about a person who was sick and is getting better. And they would have a motivation for better health, right? Now, I am seeing about a gentleman right now, an elderly man, and he's learning to ambulate. And every day when we go, we talk about purpose. And I told him, well, what is your purpose? Why you want to get better? Why you want to start to walk again? What is your motivation? And he would say to me, he said, I would like to feel, to let my daughter see how I'm progressing, right? How I'm doing much better after the situation I've been in. He was in an accident. And he said he wants to see her, to let her see that he is progressing.
Maria, so give me a thumbs up if you're hearing me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yeah, I'm hearing you. You hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I think I lost my connection for a second there.
Okay.
Yeah, carry on.
So, what I was saying to Cynthia and to all the women here, you must have a purpose for what you're doing it, right? My purpose is to gain better health and to encourage others, let them know that if I could do it, they can do it. And when they see you, you must be an example of that purpose, of that reason. You must have to be the reason. When they see you, should motivate them just by looking at you, right? So you must have a purpose for what you are doing. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons as well, that and all would be an issue. But you have to have a real strong purpose for becoming healthy. It's not just looking good in clothes and things like that. Because I can't see anybody here on this program tonight would say that they want to be sick in bed, right? They don't want to be ill. They don't want to be dependent on nobody. And if we continue on the road that we are going on in terms of unhealthiness, we digging ourselves an untimely grave, right? So yeah, you have to go through your mind and say, well, what is my purpose? And I think that would be a motivator. That is, I mean, that is how I see it. That is what works for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But do you think,
Some,
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead, Cynthia.
can I say something? Oh, Cynthia,
Yeah.
you can.
Of course, Liz.
No, some of us, some women or some men, as the case may be, we have we are committed to our spouse. We are in some way or the other. And sometimes a spouse might tell another spouse, things like they prefer to see them thick, or they prefer if to see them you're too fat, or you're too slim, or as the case may be. I cannot tell anybody how to be committed to their spouse. I would be totally out of line. Be committed to your health. This is how far I would take it. The box stop right there. Be committed to your health. And if your spouse would want to, let's say, vastly see you look and feel a certain way, and they really respect you, you all could have a nice little talk, because that will be a problem too, and we are facing reality on this program. That will be a problem. So we can speak together, and we can have a common understanding about the penalties that can happen when we don't take care of ourselves. Again, that's just my little input.
Thank you.
I tend to use with the clients in the program a simple statement when it comes to approaching your partner or your family about achieving your own health goals. I always start off by saying this statement. Sit them down, have a conversation, and start off with, I need your help. When anybody here ever had like a Girl Scouts or one of the boys groups come, Boy Scouts or anyone of them come up, or your children from school come and ask you for a donation for some raffle or something in school, right? And I say, and donate to this, or I need your help for this. What do? You push your hand in your pocket and you hand them the money. You don't even think about it. Because as humans, when people come to us for help, our hearts open up. The majority of us, our hearts open up and we want to help. So if you approach me like that, with that approach, with I need your help, what that leads to is that person goes, oh wow, they really do need my support and my help. And then suddenly their mind switches over from the reject or push away to the open and bring in. And just that one statement leads to such a great impact of you creating that health journey for yourself. And the next statement comes out, I don't need you to change anything in your life. I'm not asking you to change anything, but I need your help for me to achieve my health. And I need your support in going through that. And suddenly that changes everything. And that in itself leads to your partner now right there with you, they're supporting you, and they're always thinking of you, because when you have a partner in life, they're not trying to harm you. They really, really want to see you succeed. Right? And when you succeed, they succeed. So embrace that. Start off with I need your help. And you'll see how it transforms.
Cynthia, is this helpful to you in any way?
Oh yes, certainly. Yes. Very, very helpful, man. Very, very. had taken all the talk and transforming it. Yeah, it really was. Thanks.
So Brenda, we haven't heard much from you. Would you have any concerns, any comments you'd like to make? Anything you want us to clarify for you?
Or anything you want to add in terms of your journey?
No, you don't have to. I'm just asking. If you say no, that's fine. We'll give her a moment. All right. Well, we're coming down to the end of our session. It's almost time to close off. So I hope we have been a little bit informative in some of the things when it comes to nutrition and health and exercise and really traveling through the menopause journey. And I want to say tomorrow at 7 p.m., we're launching our second session of Ultimate Weight Loss Recipe. I added a link to sign up for the course in the chat. I'll add it again. Come join us. It's a course that really in 7 weeks can have a real impact on you transforming your health journey into something that you will sustain for the rest of your life. Right? And I have a quote from one of my friends who was doing my friend and client. He was doing the program with me for the last we ended around I think it was June or July, right? And he responded to me. Now he's in Brazil, living life to the fullest. And he said that the journey has been spectacular. He was very grateful for simplicity of it and its impact on himself and his family life. And in the 6 months, he lost 24 pounds. He's doing much better. He's eating healthier. He sent me pictures of some of the foods he's eating. He's quite on the right track. So it's a program that's really built for you. So if you're interested in really transforming that nutrition journey and having it be a sustainable nutrition journey that you enjoy, right, then join us tomorrow. Click on the link, send me a picture of the transfer if possible, and when you send me the picture, and if you didn't fill out the form, just send me a picture and your email address. I can add you to the Zoom link so you'll get the updates of when the next class is happening, and we can put you on record so that we can keep you updated on each of the 7 sessions. So you know the next one's coming up, and with it, lifetime access and access to the recordings on the program. That being said, I hope to see you there. If not, we'll see you on the next rounds, which is next week, Tuesday. Unfortunately, our speaker didn't make it tonight, and I'll find out. I was able to check my email to find out why. But hopefully we'll get her on another occasion. I don't know what's happening. But we had an awesome discussion tonight. Thank you for joining us on a Healthy Reset, where we discuss menopause and midlife changes and all of the ways to not just navigate menopause, but to thrive through the change. Maria, would you like to close us off? And then we'll say goodnight to everyone and see you next week.
I just want to say I really immensely enjoyed tonight and the participation of all of us. And I hope we could have more conversations like this in the near future. I think when we talk and we share our experiences, it helps each other. That is at least that is the purpose for having this channel. If we don't, sometimes if we don't say, sometimes we don't know the power of our words and how much good it may do to help somebody else who may be going through the same thing like you, right? So I just want to say thank you, and I enjoyed tonight. Even the silent member, I am glad she's here and she's listening, and I hope one day that, she would just say something, put her part out, she don't know what she could be doing to help even myself, right? So thanks for sharing, ladies.
Right, and in
You're
closing,
welcome.
Bye.
I want to make a final announcement. Next week, we have a holistic healer who's going to come on and talk about holistic remedies for going through menopause. Her name is Cindy Olson. Look for her. Hopefully, she will make it. As you know, US is going through its own little throes with some natural disasters and
Yeah.
a weird election. So that being said, everyone have a pleasant evening, and we will see you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night.